Welcome. My name is Avery, but I go by Soavecito, and I'm a horror content creator. Welcome to episode 45 of Whispers of Horror, and we have an awesome developer in Murushii. How are you, Murushii?
I'm doing good. Thanks for inviting me in this show.
Absolutely. I just want to say before we went live that I told you that you're diabolical because what you did to me at 5 o'clock in the goddamn morning was like the word I use is
It was
diabolical.
horrible.
I might
Yeah,
have
terrible.
urinated myself. I might have had a couple
A little bit.
tinkles. I had to change my underwear
Okay.
again after my shower. That's something that I'm not proud of, but I'm happy
Yeah.
to talk about because it's just pure fear that was going through my heart when I saw that jump scare. And there was many jump
Yeah.
scares, and I think that's so awesome that you like your creativity of where like it's just like I put my guard down in all those situations, but I thought that a lot of those stuff was pretty awesome. So shout out to you. Those jump scares were peak.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So again, I just want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be on
Hmm.
a guest on Whispers. The number one question I want to ask is where did you get your name?
Yep. Get my name. It's actually a funny story though. Like I had a dozen of different names way
Mm-hmm.
back when. And I was like, you know what? Let me try to find something more of a like a Japanese type vibe. And then
Mm-hmm.
originally, before Murushi, my name was Murufuku, right?
Okay.
Right, but due to the fact that some like platforms doesn't really allow the word fuku because the if you separate the u from the fuk, it sounds like a curse word, right? So now I had to like try to go to the board again, and I was like, you know what? All right, she would be okay. Still sounds a little bit more Japanese, even though I'm Filipino. So yeah, let's stick with that. Let's go with Muroshi.
I,
So
I
yeah, that's how the name became a thing.
Nah, I think that's so dope. So, I mean, we talked a
Yeah.
little bit, again, off stream of you not showing your
Mm.
face. Is there a reason why? Do you want to little elaborate why you decided to be a hidden developer?
Faceless. Yeah.
Faceless? Again, yeah, that's the word,
Um.
faceless.
Yeah. I think it's because of how I feel. Right. Like I eventually over the years I developed some sort of like a, I don't know what kind of trait it is, but it feels like a social anxiety type of thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I don't want to be like going outside and people recognizing me like, hey, it's Marushi, hey, it's Marushi. No. I don't like that kind of feeling.
Or
So
attention.
so now, yeah, attention. But I do love the community. I'm happy that I'm growing,
Mm-hmm.
right, as the game developer and a digital creator. But I think if I were to have a guest appearance somewhere outside of my comfort zone, or per se outside of our house, I would be wearing the same thing that you see on my avatar, which is a mask, a purple mask and a hoodie.
Okay.
So that way you can still, see me, but you don't see my face. So yeah.
Listen, if I saw a
But
guy in a
but
purple
before,
hoodie and
yep,
wearing a mask or in a
yeah,
hoodie and a mask, I'm calling the
that's
authorities
me.
or I'm throwing these
But wait,
hands.
no.
So whatever one you want, because I don't listen. You never know. It's
Yeah,
crazy these days. I'm just saying. I
yeah,
might I
that's
might
true. That's
hit you
true.
and I'm
That's
like,
true.
oh shit, it's Murushii, and I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I'm gonna be like, Avery, wait, it's me. Wait, what? Oh, it's my boy
Well,
Murushi. Sorry, dude.
yeah. After I hit you, I'm like, oh, are you thinking I know how you know my name? That's what's gonna happen. Then you're gonna be like, I was on your podcast.
Yeah. Okay, okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. So.
But yeah, I kind of like developed like a social anxiety throughout the years because but before I've been doing a lot of YouTube content with my face on,
Mm-hmm.
right? And a lot of people bullied me and pretty much like to a point where it's just like, you know what? Let me just hide my face and let's see how it goes there. And my wife actually convinced me to do that as well. Since, yeah, when I think 2 years ago, she was like, honey, you should really do this thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
she saw Corpse, right? Corpse husband and other a few content creators out there that was like faceless and really have a huge success just because they didn't really show their faces
Mm-hmm.
that much. So I was like, you know what? Let's see. I already developed this kind of trait inside me that I don't really want that kind of exposure, so let's do it. But eventually, maybe I set a milestone if I reach say about 100K or followers or subscribers or whatever. I might try to reveal my face,
Okay.
right? But most of my friends, they're closed and pretty much like um other community members that I'm close with, they already know my face.
Okay, okay,
So
okay.
yeah.
I think that's dope. I think that's
So the
absolutely dope. Like
yeah,
one day, I'm hoping one day I'll be honored to see your glorious face, so I can look at you
actual
with
face. Yeah.
disgust at how you scared me
No,
at five
I
o'clock in the
think
morning, not knowing that
yeah.
this is the first thing I do when I wake up. Like I want to eat. I didn't even eat breakfast. That's crazy. I think that's
Okay. I think
absolutely
that I
crazy.
think yeah, I think the only okay, this is an exclusive thing, right?
Okay.
This is
Oh, we
the
got the first
only time I'm
exclusive.
going to say this on Whisper of Horror
Okay.
podcast
Bet.
on your show, right? I have a beard, so that's it.
Listen, you
I
heard
have
it
a
first, ladies and
full
gentlemen.
grown beard. That's it.
You heard it first, ladies and gentlemen. Murushii has a
Other
beard.
than that, that's it.
Breaking news.
Yeah,
Da-da-da. I think that's
breaking
awesome.
news.
So
Yeah.
let me ask you.
Uh,
I'm gonna sit in my chair because my chair keeps reclining, and obviously I got my blanket because I don't do this. I don't stream unless I
mm,
have my blanket and I'm comfortable. But let me
yeah.
ask you this: like, so what made you start getting into game development, and like, how long have you been doing this?
That's a really good question,
Thank you.
actually. Um, Let me take you back to the pandemic days, about 2022,
Sure.
right? So there was a time where about I think it was August where I was like bored out of myself and I was like doing Twitch streams.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, I was like, you know what? Let me try to meddle around with Unity. Yeah, that's the software that I'm using right now on my games. And then I was like, let me try to make a game within 2 days. And then I try to look for YouTube tutorials, try to look on Google, try to look through a lot of documentation of Unity. I was like, yeah, this seems fair. And I was like, even the assets were just from the asset store back then. I was like, you know what, I'll just do it. You know
Mm-hmm.
what, I'll do it. And then I made this game called It's Just a Game. The gameplay is actually posted on my YouTube channel if you want to check it out.
Yeah, for sure. I'll put
it's
all the
it's
links will be in the description for sure. Like,
yeah. It's really something.
hmm
That's the only I can say. It's really something. I wouldn't say I call it a game, but it's there. It
okay.
exists. So, and then years later, I stopped doing that. My Unity was still on my PC after that. After all that shenanigan with the 2 days challenge that I did myself in 2002, and then eventually, I was like, you know what? I'm really passionate in filmmaking
Okay.
because originally that's my goal or my dream in life
hmm
to become a filmmaker and to produce movies and obviously horror in general. So I was like, yeah, I'll try to uh jump into that dream again. And then eventually 2040 2020 24 happened and that didn't end well. I'm not gonna go into to details, but
Sure.
let's just say I had at least three friends that we're not no longer in communication with anymore.
I get that. I'm sorry to hear
Right?
that.
Yeah, it's fine, it's fine. So and then June arrives last year, and then I was like, my best friend and my wife were talking, because it was my birthday that time, right? June is my birthday, so yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So and then I was like, you know, you should what you do, Muru. You should really try to focus on a different venture, like try to work on a different career. maybe you can put your creativeness and your storytelling into something else, right? Instead of filmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
So now I was like thinking, I did made a game before. I'll try to make a game. I was like,
Okay.
yeah, sure, let's do it. And then it took me about 3 months or so to actually release my first game, and that is Lost in the Echoes. And also, Lost in the Echoes is a personal game because it also reflects my personal life in that game,
Mm-hmm.
like how what I'm dealing personally, like in the past and present, right? So now it's like, all right, so this is actually a really heavy, dark game, and unfortunately, I hate to say this, there was no people, or I have no connections at that time to ask people to voice over that
Okay.
game. And unfortunately to say, that first game had AI
Okay.
voiceovers. So you gotta start somewhere though, at least.
Absolutely. There's
Right?
no there's like there's nothing wrong with that. As you're starting
Mm.
from doing this from the beginning. So like whatever you have to do when you don't have those resources is I totally understandable. I get it.
Yeah, true. So and then after my first game, it didn't really click per se.
Mm-hmm.
Like I did get some few people here and there. I'm going to shout out Master HD and Shannon because those two were the first players who played my first game. So now I'm really thankful for them. I won't forget whoever first placed my first games and stuff like that. It's because I really want to make sure that I won't be like that person, like, okay, I'll forget you. No, I want to be like the person, like, hey, thank you for being to my journey. So yeah, and then eventually Christmas in Our Fears happens, and that game is a Christmas themed horror game based on a legendary meme here in the Philippines. Um, his name is Jose Marichan. I based it off him, and then I was like, you know what? I've been working on this story for a very long time, which is
Mm-hmm.
the Kinawag, if you remember in Don't
Yes.
Sleep, right?
Yep.
Mm. So now I was like, that was a story I had while back since high school. I was like, you know what? Let's try it. Like, I'll implement that and implement the legendary meme into one whole game, and then see what happens. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, a few days after it released, I saw a video from Cub Scout, Jay from the Cub Scout. If you know him, right? No,
Uh,
you ring a bell?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm
Okay,
I'm
okay.
very bad with
But
names,
yeah,
so when I say I don't think so, 95% of the times I
that's
know
fine.
who it is. So
Okay, okay.
if you
So
send me the link or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I know who it is. I'm terrible with faces, names, and actors and movies and all that stuff. I'm terrible with anything in that aspect.
uh, it's fine, it's fine. But Jay is basically half Filipino,
Mm-hmm.
and is from the US. And I was like, and he has a really huge following. About right now is currently on 6 million subscribers on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Before he was just about 5 million, and that was a really big progress throughout the 1 year. And then he played my game. I was like,
Oh wait, you told me
ah,
this
Jay
morning.
from the Cub Scout played it.
Yeah, you didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I just spaced. Yes, yes. No, I do know who you're talking about. I literally
yeah.
yeah. I brain fart.
And then eventually that game became the start of something else, like that my game development career. It blew up. Everyone played it. Everyone liked it. Some didn't, but that's fine. I took a lot of feedbacks and tried to use that feedback into the next game that I have. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Let's get into some. So, how many games do you have right now currently? Finished.
All right. Currently,
Oh yeah.
should I include the first game though, because that was just a like a prototype per
No,
se.
no, no, no. Yeah. Just yeah, the ones that are like playable to that are out that people can check out and play and stuff like that. So, what games do you currently
Okay.
have out that are playable for people to play?
Okay, so we have the first game, Lost in the Echoes.
Okay.
The second game is Christmas in Our Fears, and then eventually I decided to create a extended version for that. game with the second version, which is basically it adds two other endings plus an additional lore to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I challenged myself to do a one day game, which is basically called Dot. It's a existential horror type game. It's a very short game, but you're in for a treat if you try to play it. So
So we
and
got
then
a comment in the chat saying Raiden Blizzy Gaming says I'll definitely check these games out. Keep it going. They so words of
hey,
encouragement.
thank you so much. Hey,
Uh,
let's go. And then I think the next one is Marupok or
okay,
Fragile in English. And this game is the first game that Queso played.
okay.
Yeah, so it really blew up. Like a lot of people played it. A lot of our local content creators played it. They enjoyed it. But the only thing that a lot of people notice is the game was short.
Mm-hmm.
But it has a impactful ending. And I won't spoil it on stream. But if anyone wants are interested to play it on yourselves. It's just gonna be
Absolutely.
a fun game. And then after Marupok, it's Kawalan
Mm.
or Empty. Kawalan is I think this is my first game that I collaborated with a fellow developer that I met. His name is Kyranot.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyranot helped me with the story because that story is inspired by his personal backstory per se. Not like uh, uh, image to image or something like that. It's just inspiration basically.
Gotcha.
And then I was like, all right, this game is super dark and disturbing. Let's do it. And then lastly is Don't Sleep, and that's the one that you played earlier.
Yeah, yeah,
the,
for sure. I can only imagine what
yeah,
people will go through when they try your games, cause yeah, they're. I was awake. I can't lie, I was awake.
you were awake.
Woke me the fuck up. I
5
promise
a.m.
you
in the
that.
morning.
Speak about your
Yeah.
game. Don't sleep. I'm actually gonna change the screens
Hmm.
on the YT,
Yep.
and we're gonna be able to
Sure,
see
sure.
my gameplay of it. It won't have sound, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're on TikTok, I'm gonna see if I could put it on, and a small browser link and play it in the background. This is my gameplay that I played this morning of the game Don't Sleep, and we have the developer Mushi. So I I wanted to talk a little bit more about. You said you can the storyline is by from a
Mm,
meme, and you said all the games are
mm.
connected. Can you just elaborate a little bit more about the story of this of just the franchise that you are building?
Okay. So to make it like less spoiler in the context of the story. So basically there's this entity, an ancient entity called Kinawag, right? Um it was born from the stars, so meaning that was way back before any planets or any life forms existed in space, right? So now Kinawag is just like a small dot that eventually turned into something much larger than anyone could have imagined. No
Mm-hmm.
one could explain it, and eventually, Kinawag noticed an planet, and that certain planet, is Earth. Now, before I get into what's gonna happen to the planet, this version of my universe is an alternate version of our universe, right? So let's say you're still Avery, I'm still Murushii, but we're probably doing a different career or different jobs and stuff like that.
Sure.
So that's how my alternate universe comes together. So that's why in Christmas in Our Fears, a lot of people were like, "Hey, that's Jose Marichan." That's basically the person that I parodied in the game,
Mm-hmm.
which is the Christmas stalker. But in this universe, he does exist, but he also already dead because something took him and took his skin off.
Jeez.
Yeah, and that thing is from Kinawag. And I won't go to any details, but Kinawag is a terrible and dangerous being that no one can see and only a few people can actually see, but some of those few people are, how I say this, if they see it, they'll be, they'll be taken away by Kinawag, as you see in the Don't Sleep ending.
Yeah, I mean, a little more understanding of Kinawag is that
Mm.
it basically latches on to the weak and just pulls like the negativity and
Mm.
feeds off of it, and then when you it doesn't try to break you, it waits till you break. So it targets the
Yes.
weak and the people that are out on the brink, and then helps them push them to the edge, and then you basically give yourself to the entity. Is there a reason
Mm.
why that it is, or is just that's how the entity, it like just the whole being around it?
Actually, it's just basically that. Like the entity really feeds off anything in particular, especially with people who are already broken or has a really traumatic past,
Mm-hmm.
because it knows it's easier to target than those other people who are not easily breakable, right? So now Kinawag takes those people, like for example, the a person who has traumatic past, say, or depression or something like that. That's an easy target for Kinawag.
Yeah.
So eventually, in the universe, this is the first time I'm actually going to reveal it.
Okay. Oh,
Um,
okay. Bet, 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 bet.
you notice the book of chaotic nature from the Don't Sleep game,
Uh huh.
right? The book that
Yeah.
just pop up out of nowhere, thin air. Yeah, that book is actually a way to contain Kinawag.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
because back in the 16th century, or actually no, sorry, 17th century, um, a few people who saw Kinawag, in different uh, places all around the world, formed together and bonded to create that book. And that book helped them to seal off Kinawag. But unfortunately, in the 18th century in Las Islas Filipinas, certain man named Nimwel Malari
Mm-hmm.
decided was fun because he was like really had enough with, because in our history, in the Philippine history, we were, how I say this, colonized by the Spanish for about 300 years.
Mm-hmm.
So like Nimwel Malari was like had enough, like everyone is getting like hurt and stuff like that because of, like you can't really like it was so, how I say this, not good in a way,
Gotcha.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So everyone was like, if you say something about the Spanish or the Spaniards are gonna be like after you.
Mm-hmm.
So either you get jailed or you get killed. That's the only thing that you have, like
You only
choice
have
they
two.
have on you.
Yeah, both options don't sound great.
Yeah, no, neither of those two sound great. So now Nimel Malari was like, you know what? I'll try to find a way to help us, to get rid of this foreign rule that we're currently in.
Mm-hmm.
But but Nimel Malari was like, he's super intellectual to a point that he went mad, right? And he found a way to a mysterious hidden city called Biringan City. So Biringan City is basically like Wakanda.
Gotcha.
It's out of the place, hidden from the world and stuff like that. But apparently Nimal Malari found a way to open the gates of Biringan City and managed to sneak inside the place. And now in this fictional universe that I have, there is a portal in Biringan City that connects to the other dimension where the Book of Chaotic Nature lies in,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because Nimwell Malari did his research and found out about this book that could help save humanity, quote unquote, save humanity. But unfortunately, when he tried to open the book, and he summoned Kinawag and other beings that's were basically locked up inside the book. So
Gotcha.
if you were a fan of Evil Dead, that's actually a reference to Evil Dead. And if you're a fan of Goosebumps, it's also a reference to Goosebumps. Like I did a lot of reference to my story and with a lot of pop culture reference and horror reference. So it's like,
Gotcha.
yeah, it's
Though
like it's really a fun mix of lore and story.
Goosebumps
But
was
yeah, that's
definitely
basically how Kinawag happened.
nice, nice. I honestly like I'm interested. Like I've only played Don't Sleep, but I'm definitely gonna play the other ones because that one was amazing. And I just want to see how everything is connected. And you said that like you put
Mm.
references in the other games about Kinagwa, and I'm
Yep.
just curious to see. I want to see if I can find the little bits and pieces to put the whole puzzle together. And shout out to the Evil Dead because
Mm.
that movie is phenomenal and that series is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And shout out to Goosebumps. That's like my favorite two. Like as a child, I just read the Goosebumps books, watched the shows. I was gonna add. That's kind of leading up to my next question. Is like, is there anything else
Mm.
that was influential to how you design your games? It could be with their Filipino culture. It could be like from TV shows, movies, games. Like, is there any? Is there other things that are influential when you make this developing games?
Yeah, actually, like some of our games are reference to us to some of my game, like some of the games that I played before,
Mm-hmm.
and even movies that I watch. In terms of the colors, like if you notice, like, in Don't Sleep, it has something more of like an indie type of feel,
Sure.
like cinematic type of feel. Like this is just like what I watched before in our local indie horror scene, because there's like some colors that really stood out for me. So I was like, you know what? Let me grab that and then turn it a little bit to a game form. And then every games like if you are going to play Marupok and Don't Sleep at the same time, you'll notice the same vibe to it,
Sure.
like the same color, the same shadows, and everything is just the same feel to it. And then as for the other stuff, I actually how would I say this preference, like for example games like Outlast for the first game and Silent Hill and Slender.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so basically the reason why I reference that because in Lost in the Echoes, the enemy AI is similar to Outlast.
Gotcha.
The
Okay.
story itself feel especially the main character feels like James from Silent Hill.
Okay.
And then as for the Slender part, in
That's
the
the
game
great. Is
you
the
actually
monsters?
collect 10 skulls.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
cool.
you
That's
actually
cool.
collect like 10 skulls. But the catch here, the reason why I'm putting out there, I'm saying like a lot of people like don't play Lost in the Echoes, please. Wait for the remake one.
Okay. You heard that
Because
first.
the
Don't play
first
it yet.
game is extremely hard. Yeah,
Gotcha.
extremely hard. Like I think if you try to play it, you're gonna be a little bit stressed out because the moment you get caught by the enemy, after you collect the fifth skull, you're gonna go back to the beginning.
Oh, bet. All right. So,
Yeah, so
ladies and
that's
gentlemen,
how stressful it is.
wait to play that game. Wait to for the remake.
Yeah,
So,
but if you're up for the challenge, then it's up to you though.
yeah, I'm listen. It's gonna probably be early in the morning, so everybody knows
Yeah.
that my new streaming schedule is 4:30 around that time, 4:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is crazy. I don't know why I decided to
Yeah.
do horror in the morning. It's the worst decision of my life, but it's the best time I enjoy the most because I get peace and quiet. But I kind of want to back up a little
Mm.
bit, and just to get to know
Yeah,
you a
sure.
little
What's up?
bit, to get to know you a little bit more, without
Mm.
giving up too much. I know you're a faceless developer, but when you're not
Mm.
creating games and everything like that, what are some hobbies that you like to do on when you have some free time?
Oh, usually I play games.
Okay.
And then usually
Is it
I
horror? Is it horror games? Like, do you play horror games or do you
yes,
play
yes,
just
yes.
anything that's not related to horror?
Upstream. I play some horror games,
Okay,
and sometimes since my wife convinced me to play like Minecraft,
sure.
sandbox games, multiplayer games, something like that. So I enjoy those games as well. And since if I'm not playing any of those games, I would usually play a story-based game
Okay.
off stream. I don't really like to like make content for story-based games since my niche is pretty much horror. So
No,
so
I get
like,
that.
all right, that's yeah. And then other than playing games, I usually go out and ride my
Nice.
bike, like just travel everywhere as much as I can because sitting all day can really hurt your back.
Oh, you're telling me. That's why
Yeah,
I limit it to an hour. Like I'm not as young as I used
yeah.
to be, man. I'm 30 years old and I'm just like I'm
And
feeling the back pain for real.
mine is already kicking in.
Oh damn! A lot of
Yeah,
people told me, and it's crazy. You not chat can't
yeah.
see that, but you can see it. I have a standing desk right here that I built, and I'm waiting to transfer everything over because I can't do
Oh.
the sitting stuff like that. I highly recommend this.
Mm.
And I have a little treadmill so I can lose weight too. Like I have the whole setup
Oh,
ready.
that's a combo right there. That's so cool.
Yeah, so when I get scared and I
Yeah.
slip on my treadmill and I end up like Final Destination, like that's the next
Oh no.
that's the next trip.
Yeah.
Um, no, that's cool. How do you balance finding time for like family and friends and the things that you like to do when you're not content creating, and balance like not content creating. I'm sorry. Developing and then
No, during
finding
development.
yeah
Yeah.
during developing. Like do you have a good balance, or does one get more attention than other? Like do you find it like a struggle? Like what is your opinion on your balance of your life?
In in terms of balance, I don't say there's a balance
Okay.
per se. Like sometimes I'll be up making the game. Sometimes I'll be asleep, and then usually my wife is gonna be the one that gonna say, "Hey, honey, could you could you go out with me and stuff like that?" Or sometimes if we have a family occasion, I have to really pause whatever I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
because family comes first. So as a Filipino, family comes first. So.
Oh yeah, listen.
Very very so.
I'm
Yeah, we
Puerto
have.
Rican and Dominican, so I listen. I'm Puerto Rican, Dominican, and African American, so I totally get it. Family, we all get together. And then when there's an event, you can't miss it. So a family is important. I totally
Yeah.
respect that. What
But yeah,
not?
but that's
Okay,
pretty much how I balance it though.
okay.
So
No, that's good. I mean, I'm glad you got a good balance when it comes to stuff like that. Um, when you are in the process of making a game, what are some of the highlights and lowlights that you face during your development?
mm, like before the development or like when in development.
So what I'm saying is like so throughout the process of you making a game, like what are the best moments that you enjoy the most, and what are some of the most frustrating moments that you endure during the process of developing?
All right, so I'll be honest with you. The fun things that I enjoy the most is basically doing the levels, making
Okay.
the models, making the graphics because most of the games that I've developed are is basically me doing all the graphics. So in Don't Sleep, if you see like the painting, like the paintings in the other dimension, like the
Mm-hmm.
eyeball dimension per se, I actually did that, and then the UI and everything. The only thing that I'm not happy about is the programming. It's stressful. It's painful.
I believe it. I believe it.
No doubt.
I
No.
believe it.
So
Nah.
so when Cairo came in, I was like, thank you, dude. Thank you, man.
Mm-hmm.
You're a lifesaver. You managed to help me out with two games. Actually, fun fact, Kawalan and the game Don't Sleep was developed at the same time.
Nice. I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
Wait,
so
I don't know how you
me
develop
and
two
Cairo was
games
like
at the same
grinding.
time. That's
Yeah,
crazy. Now that I think about it.
it's not fun, dude. It's not fun. Let me tell you,
How
it's
do
not
you
fun.
like? I can only imagine like you're working on both games and then you put a part of
Yeah.
in one game that was not supposed to be in that game, supposed to be in the other game. You're like, oh my god, I gotta delete this. The fact that you did them both at the same time, that's crazy. I gotta play the others, but I was gonna. That's
Yeah.
another question I was gonna ask. Is just like, so you said you like you
Mm,
worked with other developer to help you during the process of making the game. Like, do you see yourself
mm.
in the future working with other developers, or do you want to try to be like a solo developer and mainly focus on working by yourself?
I think I'll be happy to work with other developers in the future,
Mm-hmm.
but for now I'll be like more on focus on being a solo developer and also with Cairo because Cairo has been around since I think since January this
Mm-hmm.
year. So he's been a really good friend and a really good developer. And everything in you and the lines that you heard in the "Don't Sleep" is by
Oh,
him.
for real? That's gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha.
especially especially the part where I'm saying like I'm in the shower and I'm naked and wet. God, I'm cringing just saying it though.
That was
Kairos, this is all your fault, man.
that definitely was an interesting
Yeah.
line, and I was like, I don't know what to say. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, and everything is it's definitely after dark. Everybody, this is 18 plus
Yeah.
stream,
Yeah.
and the first thing I do is I look down, like, and then I was like, wait, everybody down. It's not like that. But nah, I think
Wait up, hold up.
yeah, wait, you pause that. Everybody, that's a big pause right there. Um, the, this should remind. Speaking about like just like the don't sleep still. Um, the
Mm,
art when the monsters are
mm,
running after you and you're running away from them and then they get you and you made that art right like with the jump scare
mm.
screen. That
Yep.
art is absolutely excuse my language, ladies and gentlemen. I actually fuck that because we're this is a horror stream. So if you don't like cursing, I don't know what to tell you. That art was a fucking masterpiece. I was just saying, like I love just
Thank you,
like
thank you.
just the grotesque of how all the monsters and like it truly brought fear. And I just want to
Mm.
know like how did you design some of that stuff? And can you design shit for me because I need some cool stuff like that because I thought that it is so dope and I would love to have
It
some of
was
that
so
stuff
cool, yeah.
as a
Thank
background
you
for my
so.
green screen. Nah, it's really cool. It's one of the better arts that I've seen in a while. So shout out to you.
Yeah, I like the inspiration for that part of the game is basically from Stranger Things and Silent Hill
Okay.
combined. All right, so it's like a mix of both worlds. And then for the creatures, we have this thing in the Philippines called a swang.
Okay.
So basically, it's basically like monsters. We have it here, but some of these swangs are actually eat infants, you know, like pregnant women, and then they're gonna
Yeah.
be like coming after that pregnant woman. They're gonna eat the fetus, basically.
Oh, jeez.
That's
Okay.
that kind of monsters. Yeah,
Oh.
yep, we have those kind of things here as a mythological creatures. So I was like, okay, all right. I think I could work this. Or I can work something out with this. So I was like, the models that you saw are actually inspired for those,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, you noticed that three monster was chasing you before, right? There's a don't sleep.
Yeah.
All right, the first one, the one that crawls through its hands and legs, is actually based on Tick Tick. And it's a different type of a swang, basically. Uh, it's the same thing, but it just runs on fours, and
Gotcha.
then it eats the same things, you know. And then we got the huge guy, which is the one that you, you jumped.
When I
Yeah,
am talking about that, yeah, the one I jumped out, almost
yeah,
jumped out. I actually jumped out of my seat. Probably woke my daughter up. Yeah. That one.
yeah.
Something that big should not
That
jump
one
out
is
of a
actually
window. Jump
yeah,
into a window. That's crazy.
yeah. That's it's actually like all of those monsters are influenced by our own mythological creatures here.
Okay.
Because I really wanna showcase our culture and our beliefs and everything for like throughout the world.
Hmm.
Like, hey, this is ours. You see this? This is ours.
How important is it to have that Filipino influence be in your games and
So much, so much.
broadcast to the whole world?
so much. I'm going to say this honestly. Our game development here, especially in basically in art industries, are being underappreciated.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing our games or any form of media or even movies or shows or whatever that getting love from other countries or all around the world is super enjoyable because in our country we don't really get that kind of support. Like
Mm-hmm.
let's just say if a game were to release on our country, like say for example, I'll give you an example, Hapunan, which one, the one that I talked to you about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It's a game that was released last December last year, and then it didn't got the love it deserved, and it didn't even got any recognition until I played it and posted. I post a short on my TikTok, and I actually helped out the fellow developer because eventually, after a few weeks of that post, everyone was like raving about the game.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like everyone was like doing this and doing that. A lot of content creators played it, and then suddenly Queso played it, and then I was like, "Damn, that's nice. Filipino games are going up." And
Yeah.
then eventually, in that same month, which is February, Solitary Studios, one of my fellow developers who's watching right now, who made Silent Still, released Teen Threads.
Mm-hmm.
Teen Threads is about like a poor families
Oh yeah, I
situation,
played.
and
Oh
then
man, I played
you
that.
play that. You play that.
Oh, that
The
game
the
is
the, the twisted dark
maniacal.
ending.
Oh my
Yeah. Yep.
god.
That one. Yep.
You.
That's their game. And then eventually, after a few weeks, their release, I released Marupok, which is also Queso played. And that's actually a pretty amazing time for Filipino games because, well, Filipino horror games, because Hapunan got played by Queso and a lot of content creators. Tin Threads was also played by him, and then Marupok. At like in the span of I think 6 weeks. Yeah, I think
That's
or
crazy.
so. Yeah,
Modishi, real quick,
yeah,
can you just I got some viewers coming in and out. Can you just
yeah.
real
What's up?
quick
What's up?
just say who you are and the games you developed?
Alright. Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Murushi. I'm a game developer and digital creator. For those who don't know, I develop Lost in the Echoes, Christmas in Our Fears, Dot, Marupok, Kawalan, and Don't Sleep.
Thank you so much. We were getting questions say, hey, like, what games did you develop? And instead of like
Yeah.
telling me, I think that's a good bit right there where you could just tell them yourselves. And everybody, all the
Yeah.
game, the links will be in the description of all the platforms I'm on, and you can check them out for yourself. Go support the developers. You know, all support
Let's
helps.
go.
Go play the games. I played it actually. What is playing right now is the game that I
Don't
play.
sleep.
Don't sleep that I played this morning. That I might have tinkled a little bit playing,
you
and I'm not ashamed to say that I
you
had
jumped out of your
perspiration.
seat.
I jumped out of my seat.
Yeah.
Queso played some of the games, and they're very good streamers and content creators that had played Murdishi's
Mhm.
games. And so, honestly, Murdishi, you're on the rise. Like, I think that's awesome. And you're on a podcast. I'm your first podcast person. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely
True. True.
awesome.
And actually, thank you so much for inviting me for this podcast because not only that I'm in this in my first podcast
Yeah.
ever. This month is actually my birth month. June 30th is my birthday, and then
Well, happy early
it
birthday.
also hits the first anniversary of Murushii Studios, like a
Nice.
few days ago. So it's actually a really cool milestone, and I'm actually happy and humbly thankful for everyone
Hey,
that
no,
supported me
that's
throughout.
truly amazing. It's well, happy early birthday and a happy birthday to the
Thank you so
studio.
much,
I
Steve.
think that hey, that's big
Yeah.
milestones. So where do you see your studios going in 5 years? Where do you see Motoshi at 5 years from now?
I think 5 years from now, I want Murushii Studios to create like triple A quality games. Because right now I'm making indie games, so like it's not triple A, but it's there. It's good. Well, everyone appreciates and loves it. but I really want to try to push myself to the limit and try to make a AAA game that would take a player about 8 hours or so, or even days to just finish the game.
Hmm.
And yes, it's still horror. Think of it like I want to accomplish a game similar to how Silent Hill or Resident Evil did, because of those two games, I got inspired, and pretty much like my love of horror just went off to the roof
Yeah.
because of those games. Because without those games, I might not be doing horror right today.
Yeah, no, I get
So
that. I get that.
yeah,
For me, like, I think the first thing that got me into horror is like the first Saw movie. I think that
Saw
definitely,
movie. Yeah,
yeah, it made me stay up all night, and then I just felt like pure fear, and stayed up all, like I said, I stayed up all night, and just like not knowing if a person's gonna come in and just,
it's gonna like just take
yeah.
you. Yeah,
And
it's gonna
honestly, I was
scare you, dude.
hooked. I was hooked, and now I'm doing this. It's
I
crazy
think
how it happens.
my first movie was actually Ju-on or The Grudge,
Oh,
the Japanese
jeez.
one.
Jeez.
Dude,
That's a rough one to start with.
I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm going to tell you on this episode on Whisper of Horror. I am still traumatized over the fact that that movie of traumatizing me so much. Like, I think it became a fear of me.
Hmm.
Like I don't wanna be like having my own house and having a second floor, and then suddenly some lady, ghost like lady, just crawling down
Nah, chill.
slowly at me.
Chill, chill, chill,
Bro, I was
chill.
like, no, no.
Nah.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why sometimes I don't really play Japanese horror games that much.
Okay,
Like
I
it
respect it.
takes me about a couple of months to play it just because of Ju-on.
And this is why I tell people that I don't play
Yeah.
horror games unless I'm live. I don't touch them. They are on the shelf. I don't even look at them. I love horror games, but I just feel I can't do it by myself. I need people to feel the pain and the misery that I'm dealing with when I'm playing these games. It's just what it is, man.
Yeah, true.
So I mean,
It's much fun if someone is watching you play it, and then they're also gonna get jump scared
oh,
every time.
absolutely, and I don't feel alone. Like
For
that's the
real.
biggest thing. That's what, actually funny enough.
Yeah.
I have two fears. One of my biggest fears is thalassophobia, basically the fear of open water.
Mm. Oh
And
wait, you have that same fear.
yeah, yeah, just because I don't.
I-
Well, it kind of goes into my second fear, but that fear of
mm.
not knowing what's under me, knowing that I can be lost and never found again,
Yeah.
and the vast, like the ocean is vast. But
Yeah,
number
it's
one
really
thing,
vast.
not
Yeah.
knowing what the fuck is under me, and not be, it's just too much for me. Especially at night,
Dude,
and
no.
or the fog. Forget about it. You're gone. They're not gonna find you. Know how many times boats capsize and they're never found again. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
And then that.
I'm also have a phobia, thalassophobia though.
Oh, for real?
Like,
It's common.
and the fact that I'm actually making a game
Oh
and
my
that it's going
god.
to be released on November called Baha or Flood. And by the word itself, the title itself, man, you know what's up. Thalassophobia is gonna kick in really
All right.
hard.
Well, bet. Well, listen.
So
I need a cameo in the game. I need a little piece of me
sure,
in the
sure.
game because you can't have me not be. I need to be in the game somehow. Um,
Yeah.
I get, and then my second fear is the fear of being alone, like not
Mm.
being heard or like
Mm.
being lost. I guess not. I don't really care about being lost. It's just being not like I don't exist. Like in the ocean, like you're
Mm.
alone. You know, in the woods,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
alone, and just like that the thoughts
That feeling.
that the biggest thing is that just that my brain and just the thoughts I have are starting to
Mm.
get louder, and I'm listening to it. That's how I created Whispers because my brain just has so many voices that it's hard to get the thoughts out of my like say the thoughts. That's why I stutter a lot. That's why I forget a lot of things I want
Yeah.
to say. But it's just like it's like I'm finding a internal battle every day because it's just like so many things are trying to say something to me, and it gets louder. And I feel like it gets drowned out with more people. But if I'm alone, I only have me and my thoughts, and I think that's the scariest shit ever because my brain
Yeah,
is
that's freaking scary, dude.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh.
Hence whispers,
No.
whispers of horror. Do do
Yeah.
do. This is one of my favorite questions. Oh, one second, sorry. This is one of my favorite questions to ask all my guests on Whispers of Horror, and it literally gives me chills every time I ask it because it truly means a lot to me because I want everybody's perspective on this question. So when I ask you this is what is your definition of horror? Not what everybody else thinks it is, what it is. What is your perspective when you hear the word horror?
Horror for me is about tension and then usually scares because in Don't Sleep there's a lot of scares.
No, yeah, I know that for sure.
Yeah. I because earlier before we did this I was like watching some horror
Hmm.
videos on YouTube just to build up my energy up. And one of the videos is actually about a show. I can't remember, Ghost Hunters,
Yeah, okay.
Minders or something. Like it's a UK show that everyone freaked out.
Uh,
I was like I was like on my edge. I was like listening to the video. I was like, is this real?
so wait, hold on,
the
Paul.
tension, like the tension building was so much. Like I thought the show was actually real until I searched. Oh, it was a fake. It was scripted.
So wait, hold on. Okay, let me get this
Mm,
right. So before we went
mm,
live on this podcast,
mm.
you pre-gamed and
Yeah.
and psyched yourself into the mode by watching horror. That's what I'm talking about. That's
dude,
so sick.
dude, not just that. Not just watching horror. I actually streamed for 1 hour and played horror.
Oh, you're maniacal, man. That's crazy.
Uh, People might say I'm insane, but I did. I had to. I
Nah,
had to.
honestly, that's down bad. I respect it. Listen, that's awesome
Yeah.
that you did that. I think that's truly
Thank you, man.
amazing.
Thank you.
That's a first. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a
Yeah.
first to I've never had a guest get themselves so psyched to be on a podcast that they played horror and watched horror. That's dope. That's so
Yeah, and
fucking dope.
also, if any case someone doesn't believe me, you can check out my Twitch channel right now. My VOD is in there. I actually played two horror games. One is called Channel 22 and Roku Kurobi. I think it's a Japanese horror game that really freaked me out in the early in the morning. So that's a good thing.
I don't
So I
know
guess
what's up
playing
with
horror
this.
games in the morning is something though.
I know we must listen. We must have something wrong with us because who wants to wake up and
Yeah.
like, I want to play some horror games. I want to get scared and shit. Like that makes no sense. Moti in the chat says W Motoshi and Tommy Girl
Hey, let's go.
said hello because
Hey, Tommy.
I heard that she played some of your games, so that was pretty dope.
Yep,
Um,
yep.
and that's one of our viewers and one of my viewers told me about you, and I was like, "Oh, bet! I'm always looking for developers," and that's how we got connected. And look, I think this was an awesome episode for sure.
For sure,
Um,
for sure.
so we're almost close to the end of the show, because we got 5 minutes left. I got a couple more
Mm.
questions for you. The one
Sure, sure.
is when you first started to where you are now. What is some advice you would give yourself when you first started developing?
I would say just keep going. Just keep doing what you do because in the past I always try to stop whenever I fail. But now eventually when I had a realization last year, I was like, you know what, Murushi, keep going. Don't stop. You will never know what's gonna happen in the future. You might lose or you might win. That's up to fate. You'll never know. And then I continued going forward, and this is where we are now.
Yeah,
And I'm happy for it. Yeah.
that I, I think that's awesome. Okay, we're gonna kind of flip that question a little bit. Imagine if I ran
Mm.
into you in the street and I didn't throw hands with you because you're a guy with the mask on, and I just said, "Hey, Motoshi,
Yeah.
I want to get into game development. What is the best advice would you give to me?"
My best advice would be start making games.
Gotcha.
That's it. There's a lot of tutorials on YouTube. There's a lot of resources on Google. The internet is in your disposal. You can make your games now. Don't say later. Start now.
Bet. And
Yeah.
finally, my final question is there anything you want to tell the audience who is going to who are watching now, who are going to watch the VODs in the
Mm.
future? Is there anything you want to tell the Whispers of Horror podcast? The floor is yours.
Um. Expect new games coming out within this year. There's currently one, two, three, four coming out. So me and Kyra are pushing through the games, and I hope you guys are going to love and appreciate the games that we're gonna make. And hopefully, um, the support you've been giving us is get stronger and more. It will basically grow more into something else. And I'm really happy for every one of you guys. And thank you so much. I really
Absolutely.
do.
Absolutely. I think I can't wait to see the more games that you come out with. I think, like I said, I just played Don't Sleep, which is
Mm.
diabolical because some of the jump scares. It's honestly one of the
Still
better
can't get over
games.
it.
One of the better
Yeah.
games that I've played, and I honestly, this is just a hot take for me. And honestly, I don't think it's that hot of a take. I think indie games are better than AAA games right now. I think the indie game just space is just you just see so much more creative juices and just
Mm.
originality, and I appreciate
Mm.
the hard work that you guys put in day and night
Thank you so
to
much.
produce your art because it is a masterpiece. You guys put out the things that you love, and I appreciate that. And I just and I'm just consuming your content and then putting it out there for other people to consume. So I just want to say thank
Yeah,
you
yeah.
so much for giving me your time. That's
Thank
the
you.
most precious thing you could ever give somebody, and you gave me an hour. So I would love to
Yeah.
have you.
Also,
God, sorry.
Avery. Yeah. Just one quick special thanks though.
Sure, sure.
Would love to special thank Solitaire Studios, Moti Studios, and Yikon and Connie Pinka. There are my fellow developers, Filipino developers, who are really amazing game developers too.
Hmm.
They've made a lot of games. Moti is about to release his new game a bit, hopefully within this year, and then this wouldn't be possible without my wife because she's the one that been supporting me throughout through my career. Like she already dealt with me a lot of my breakdowns, a lot of my negative uh thoughts and everything. She really helped me cope up with those, and then I really pushed through with it. So I want to thank my wife, Queen Rosie. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to everybody that you shouted out. And that's amazing that this is you have a community. You just got a tight knit group of people that you can rely on and just make content with, and I think it's beautiful. But again, I would love to have you on future shows to talk about more games that are gonna drop and everything like
Sure.
that. And I can't wait to see what you come up with. And this is just a message to anybody who is a content creator, a horror movie producer, or a horror game developer. If you're ever interested in being a part of Whispers of Horror and having a conversation with your boy Soavecito, feel free to reach out to me, DM me, airmail me, fucking smoke signals. Come find me. I would love to have you on and just talk horror with you guys. So this is
Woo!
very
Whisper of horror.
heck yeah. Honestly, this has grown so
Let's
much,
go.
and like I said, I'm honored for all my guests, and this was a beautiful conversation. So this is the end of episode 45. I can't believe we're at 45 of Whispers of Horror.
45. I'm so honored. Thank you, man. Thank you so much for the invite.
Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you whisper. Shh.